And welcome to our midweek show of Upon Further Review. I'm Josh Aubrey. We're going to hear from some of our area coaches as the high school football seasons have come to a close for a couple teams. We'll hear from Jeff Kaiser at Statesboro High and Barrett Davis from Southeast Bulloch on their seasons and their outlook for the future. We'll also hear from head coach Pat Collins and some of the players at Bulloch Academy as they get ready for round 2 of the state playoffs. They'll be hitting the road for Milledgeville to take on John Millage. We'll preview that game. And we'll also hear from head coach Chad Lunsford and some of the players. Georgia Southern looking to rebound from back-to-back losses, hope to get things back on track on the road in Conway, South Carolina, as they'll be taking on Coastal Carolina. Before we go to break, we'd like to hope you'll all be safe out there, but if you happen to be in an injury or have an accident, we'd like to encourage you to contact the Sullivan Law Firm at thesullivanlawfirm.com or give them a call, 912-489-8888.
The Medical Center Pharmacy on Grenade Street is proud to be your Health Mart pharmacy in Statesboro. The Medical Center Pharmacy, locally owned and serving this community for 50 years, is open 364 days a year. The pharmacists at Medical Center know there's nothing more important than your family's well-being. That's why they take the time to know their customers, explain their medications, and answer any questions. The Medical Center Pharmacy, your Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, caring for you and about you.
Well, the Georgia Southern Eagles looking to rebound from back-to-back losses at ULM and then at home against Troy as they hope to get back on track. They'll be on the road in Conway, South Carolina, taking on the Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina. We had a chance to talk with head coach Chad Lunsford and some of the players about trying to get back on track and heading up to Coastal.
You know, been a rough 2 weeks for Georgia Southern football right now with dropping the last two. You know, a very good Troy football team came into Paulson and at a place where, you know, we put a lot of, pride in winning. And they came in, they did a really good job against us and was able to get the victory against us here at our home place. You know, this is something that with our football team, this is a learning experience right now for the last 2 weeks. We've seen two games now where against ULM, we fell behind 14-0, and we tried to figure out how to respond, and we didn't. And then this week against the Troy team, we were able to get up 14-3, was not able to hold on. So I think this is a very good learning opportunity for our football team. One, I think we've now played two teams. If I had to guess, I think these two could probably end up playing for each other for the Sun Belt Championship. So this is definitely something that we got to look at. We got to make sure that we get better from, and looking forward to the opportunity to go play Coastal this week. And we talk an awful lot about one game at a time, 1-0, but I thought it was very important this week that we talked about the big picture. I thought it was very important that we addressed that. We had early on a success and ended up 7-1, a lot of notoriety, a lot of things coming out, a lot of things talking. But if we, the majority of this football team was not a part of a 2015 year, which we went to a bowl game. But also in 2015, we did not win the conference championship. I think that our guys, I think when you start looking at the big picture of things, that was our first time in that moment. And lots of times that first time sometimes ends up not being a good experience. But when you take a good look at it and you go, okay, that moment, we always talk about living in the moment. All right, we've lived it. Now we've lived in it. Now if we get back there, what will we do when we do it again? So I think this is very good for us in the big picture. And I think that was important. We talked about that on Sunday. but also too, okay, look, here's what is in our immediate future right now. We go win it. If we can go win at Coastal, okay, that's 8 wins. If we can go win the next week, that's 9. We go win a bowl, that's 10. That's a lot of good things that we could accomplish this year. We talked about that. I said, but to get to 10, you got to get to 8 first. So I think our guys understand that, and I think they understand the big picture. And I think it was important that we addressed that. With our defense, we got to make sure that we're better in our RPO game. Coastal's not really an RPO team, but I mean that's something that we got to address because the last 2 weeks that's been an issue for us. I think we've got to understand that when we get a good football team like Troy in a deficit of 14-3, that we can't let them back in the game. I think that's something that's very important. Now, Troy's a good football team. Coach Brown's done a really good job with that football. I believe it's his 4th year there. They've learned how to do what they did. They didn't panic when they got down. So I think it's very important that our guys kind of learn from that and understand that when you get a team like that, like you got to put your foot on the pedal and keep going. So depending on how it goes when we get to Coastal, if we were to fall behind, we got to be able to fight. If we were to get ahead, we got to be able to put them away. So I think that's the continuing progress with our football team. With our offense, the thing that we got to really address, we got to make sure that we don't get in a position where we're going 3 and out. We got to make sure that we're staying on schedule. We got to make sure that we're putting ourselves in position to be successful with our offense and to continue to make drives. Last week we didn't generate many explosive plays other than throwing it through the air. And I think it's very important that we get some explosive plays in the run game. If they're loading up on the inside, then we got to make sure that we get explosives on the outside so that we can loosen them up. If they're stacking us on the outside, trying to take away our quarterback, trying to take away our pitch, then we got to get push up the middle. And we got to get explosives up there. I think it's very important that we challenge our offensive line to really establish a new line of scrimmage this week. I think it's very important that we challenge our running backs to run really hard and run through tackles and create our own explosiveness. We got to have an edge about us this week, and we got to challenge our offense to do that.
You've got a lot of weapons on offense. Last week or Saturday, Monteo Garrett carries the ball 1 time for 29 yards. Wesley Kennedy didn't really get a lot of touches. Are those things to address, or you feel pretty good about who's getting the totes? Who's getting?
No, I think we've got to make sure our playmakers get the ball in their hands. So, Monteo needs to get more carries. Wesley needs to get more carries. I don't point any fingers to why they didn't. I think it had a lot to do with we never got anything really just started. Monteo had the one explosive early on. We were able to drive that thing down there and get the touchdown. The other touchdown came off a fumble that put us in that short field to go ahead and go get that touchdown. And then later on, Shai had an explosive on a score. I think the big problem last week was we never established anything so that we could get those guys totes. But we do got to get our playmakers the ball.
I feel like this team shows up every day for work, no matter what the outcome of the game was. Win, loss, draw, tie, it doesn't matter. We show up every day ready to work and ready to prepare for the next team that we're playing. So that's really how we deal with that. Speaking on our preseason goals, a lot of those goals that we had are still there for us. I know they're not in our control. Some of them aren't in our control right now. But like I said, we come every day to work. That's outside things we can't control. So as long as we stay humble, stay in the building, stay as a team, as one, everything's going to take care of itself. We know who we are. We're a team. We're the ones in this building going to work every day, and we just ask the fans to support us. That's about it.
Your running the ball has been a struggle the last 2 games. Do you guys take that personally?
Definitely. As an offensive, you have to, because those are the guys that we do it for. And if they can't get it done, that means we're not getting it done. So, of course, you take that to heart. I expect a good team to show up, and I expect us to show up as well. And their best game versus our best game, I like us.
It's very important for us as a team to send the seniors out the right way. Coming from 2-10 last year, it's an accomplishment to be 7-3. But even though our goals of winning the conference is a little slim, we're not going to change our work ethic. We're going to still go to work.
And stay with us. Coming up next, we'll hear from some of our area high school coaches.
What does it mean to have financial freedom?
At Queensboro Wealth Management, we're helping people figure that out.
And giving them a plan to get there.
If you have a desire to take control of your finances and live with financial purpose,
we
will use every bit of our knowledge to help you.
And there's no cost to get started.
Download a free kit from our website, then give any of us a call. QWM is Queensboro Wealth Management. Let's begin today.
Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, providing primary care for Statesboro area patients since 1998, providing complete physicals, complete sports physicals, Medicare wellness exams, full diabetes treatment, and education from lifestyle changes to oral medications to insulin pump therapy. In-house dermatology, in-house circulation tests and ultrasounds, in-house lab. And introducing our new nurse practitioner, Melissa Beasley, as we now accommodate same-day or next-day appointments to serve your needs. Family Internal Medicine Associates of Statesboro, where we care. And join me now, the head coach of the Statesboro Blue Devils, Jeff Kaiser. And Coach, unfortunately, your season comes to a close on the road. You end up earning the number 3 seed. You go to number 2 Griffin. You get them with a chance of tying the game with a little over a minute left in the game. You're down by a touchdown. End up falling a little short there, but got to be pretty happy with the kids' efforts. You know, your thoughts on, first off, the state playoff game.
I was real proud of our kids' effort and real proud of how they fought through the entire season. The difference in the game against Griffin was their defensive front, just huge and very physical and quick. By far the best defensive line we faced this year, and that was their strength. And but I was proud of our kids for finding a way to stay in it, and kept battling, and like they have all year. Really proud of our kids and the amount of work and the attitude they maintained through the year.
Do you feel like the team got better for the most part through the season? Did you see it?
Without a doubt, every week. We just 6 of the 10 teams we played this year are still playing. We had a very challenging schedule, and that's the way we wanted it. And our kids realized throughout the year that they could play with very good football teams. And I told our kids we're a good football team at the end of the year. So just very proud of them, how they stuck with each other and how they played hard for each other.
I know it's hard to be patient. You're a coach. You want to see results. You know what you see out there. But the team that you took over, compared to where they are today, where do you see the most progress, and where are you the most proud?
I'm the most proud. When that game was over with Friday, our guys were devastated. It wouldn't have mattered if we'd have played the Atlanta Falcons. Our kids have gotten to a point where they expect to be competitive and to be in every game, and with the exception of a couple of instances this year, that was the case. They expect to win now, and that's the objective we wanted. Now we just got to continue to get bigger, faster, and stronger, and keep that competitive attitude, and go back to work and get ready for next year.
This is a Clydesdale. Despite what you see in the commercials, he doesn't play football. He won't bring me a cold one, as much as I wish he would. He does not fall easily in love with his kitty cat pals, of which he has none. He's just really good at being a horse on this ranch. I run with help from my banker at Synovus, Bank of here. Really, Bruce?
No credit refused isn't just an offer, it's a way of business and has been for over 100 years. No banks, no ridiculous credit requirements, just local Badcock store owners who treat you right and give you credit when others won't. It's never been easier to express your style and love your home.
Come visit us locally here in Statesboro at Piedmont Loop beside Walmart. It's now time for our Southeast Bulloch segment, brought to you by Martin Turf Farm. And join me now, the head coach of the Southeast Bulloch Yellow Jackets, Barrett Davis. And Coach, unfortunately, the season comes to a close as you guys fall to Liberty County in the opening round of the state tournament. First off, reflect back on the game. You guys were hanging in there all the way through the half, and then things kind of, I know you had some off-field craziness that happened, but in the second half, you just weren't able to compete quite as well as you did in the first.
Well, I think the first half our kids competed. They responded right out of the gate, went down and scored, and Liberty's got a good bit of athletes. They made some plays, and we had trouble making open field tackles on defense, and then missed a couple scoring opportunities. The second half on offense, combined that with a couple questionable calls from refs, but I mean Liberty County came out and they played a full 4 quarters, and that was the difference. But we had some halftime injuries in the locker room, but our kids played hard, and I'm proud of them. Had a great season and played hard for all 4 quarters. So you can't ask for anything like that. But hats off to Liberty County, and we appreciate all our fans coming out and appreciate our players giving everything they have.
So it's your first year in this region, your first year here at Southeast Bulloch. Your first opportunity to see what the region's schedule. It's been kind of the same thing for a lot of the coaches. It's a frustrating thing because there aren't a lot of competitive teams in your region. Benedictine, of course, just joining is a little different story. But, you go from that, playing Johnson and Beach or Johnson and Groves, to going into the state. It's got to be a little bit tough. You see it in softball as well. They have a great regular season, and then you go to the state and you're just ill-prepared. Is there anything you can do, or is it frustrating? Your thoughts on it.
We've got a decent non-region schedule with Screven County and Tattnall to kind of get us ready for region, and then Benedictine's a good team, obviously, in the region, and then you got Jenkins, who's playing in the second round, went to the third round last year, so they've been on the up and up the past few years, and they've got a good program. Windsor Forest is getting better and better each year. They've got a good program. So, you've got a few tests throughout the region to get you ready. It really just depends on how your schedule falls. We had Groves and Johnson right there at the end. The things we try and do is get our kids plenty of game reps, as many as we can, depending on, what the score outcome is, obviously. But during practice, trying to get the best on best look that we can to get ready for a playoff game on Friday, conditioning during games, and then conditioning hard during practice. So we try and keep those things at the forefront to make sure we're getting the best look we can, because we know once we get to playoffs that there's no bad teams left. They're all good teams. They're there for a reason. So we've got to try and get the best on best look that we can during practice and make it competitive.
This portion of the Southeast Bulloch Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Clayton Digital Repro Graphics.
A sports injury can stop you in your tracks. At Optum Orthopedics, our specialized physicians and staff use advanced orthopedic procedures with one specific goal in mind: to get you back to you. If you have a sports injury, request an evaluation. Experience the Optum difference.
Friday night lights to early morning deer stands, Anderson's General Store in Statesboro is your tailgating and hunting headquarters. Boots from Ariat, Georgia Boot, Irish Setter, Wolverine, and more, we have a pair for you. Check out our Costa and Ray-Ban sunglasses. And apparel from Columbia, Carhartt, and Drake. Dove, ducks, deer, we have all your hunting needs. And tailgate with a Big Green Egg or Traeger grill. Pack in the flavor with delicious sauces and rubs. Haul it all home with a utility trailer. Anderson's General Store, a general store, and so much more.
And join me now, the head coach of the Bulloch Academy Gators, Pat Collins. And Coach, you guys open up the state playoffs. No hangover from the Frederica game from a week before. You guys go out pretty close through the first half, and then you really pulled away there in the second half.
Well, it was great to get the playoff victory in a Class AAA playoff game, and we you said there was no hangover after I watched them score in about 30 seconds. I thought there was a lot of problems, but we settled down and we played, and I thought in certain aspects we played really, really well. In other aspects we goofed around a little bit, but we're fortunate to get the win and glad we're getting to play again.
Well, you really got your push from the offensive line. You've kind of had that all year. Some of the products of that, you had 250-plus yards and I believe 4 touchdowns for Ty Mingle and Aaron scores, and you have Jake Nelson with a couple of touchdowns. So it kind of starts up front, and you've mentioned those guys throughout most of the year and even into the preseason. What a big line you've got, but not only big, but they're able to make some holes as well.
Well, I mean, the game's boils down to blocking and tackling, and you got to have a group of offensive linemen that are selfless and willing to go out every day and do some hard work every day and to prepare themselves to be successful. And we've got a group that work well together. They execute well together. Very few times in my career can I recall that we've rushed for 570-odd yards and 7 rushing touchdowns. So I thought our linemen, really took control of the game, our offensive linemen in particular. And I thought the longer that we played, the less Brookwood's defense wanted to continue to play. And I credit that to a group of linemen that they're playing physical, but they're doing it the right way.
Well, you're going to need those linemen to keep doing what they've been doing because you've got John Millage coming up here on Friday night on the road in Milledgeville, and you know what they've been able to accomplish this year. One of the better defenses you'll probably see. They held Frederica to, I believe, 13 points in beating them a couple weeks ago, so you know you're going to have your hands full on Friday.
Well, Josh, if you recall, when we played John Millage, I shared with you on that day that on the particular night we had played that John Millage outplayed us, and they deserved to win the previous meeting. I think I also shared with you, I hope that we had an opportunity to play them again, and it's worked out where we have that opportunity. We've certainly looked at the film and studied it for quite a long time on the things that we could change and do a little differently to help us with that. So, they're a good football team. They're very, very solid. They're very proficient in several aspects of their offense. They play very good team defense. They have great speed at their linebacker and their secondary level. So, it boils down again to who plays the best this Friday night. They did have an off week last week. Sometimes that can be good. Sometimes it can be, an off week. We're fortunate we're getting to play again in the second round of the playoffs now, and it's against somebody that we've played before, and the pressure, as I see it, is squarely on their shoulders. They beat us the first time. That expectation is there for them again. They're the higher ranked team. They're the undefeated team. So you got all that stuff going. We've just got to relax, go play, and execute, and see what happens because they won the last game. But I still say there's just a 2-3 plays difference in that ball game that created the difference in the outcome. So we're excited about it. We're thankful that we have another opportunity, and it is a blessing that we get to play again.
All right, Gators on the road, 7:30 in Milledgeville. Stay with us. Up next, we'll have a couple of those offensive linemen we've been talking about. We are feeling fall at R.J. Pope's Men's and Ladies Apparel. Stop by R.J. Pope's in the Buckhead Plaza and check out their new expansion with plenty more to offer. Featuring brands like Mountain Khakis, Pants by Cool, jackets and shirts as cooler weather is upon us. With the largest selection of Georgia Southern and University of Georgia game day apparel, we make sure you're dressed to win at tailgating. When you're not cheering on your favorite team, we have your style covered. Online and in store at our 3 locations. And join me now, a couple of the offensive linemen who helped pave the way for over 500 yards rushing. You've got J.D. Collins and Lyons McKinney. J.D., we'll start with you. You guys were coming off that loss to Frederica. Could have easily had a bit of a hangover and not played well. But the opening round of the state, Brookwood, you guys really performed.
Yes, sir. We were excited to get back out there and see what we could do. We were just really focused all week, and we worked really hard to prepare. We were ready.
Line, some of the same thing. You guys could have had a little bit of a letdown. You lose to Frederica. That was a big region championship game, but you guys really seemed like you performed pretty well there on Friday.
We did. We had a great week of practice. We were real focused, and when Friday came, we were all business and ready to play.
The first half, pretty tight. The second half, you guys really pulled away. Do you feel like the conditioning and being able to have some depth helped you out?
Yes, sir. We've been working hard all year throughout the summer. We started then. We really started all the way back last year, working hard, preparing for that moment, and we were ready.
How much does it help that a lot of you guys don't go both ways, that you're able to kind of stick with one side of the football and not be on the field the whole time?
It helps a lot because obviously it keeps 22 of us fresher than we would going both ways, but also helps you kind of focus on your position instead of having to split reps with offense and defense.
All right, well, you got a big game coming up, second round of the state. You go to Milledgeville to take on John Millage. You've already seen him once. Your thoughts on going up there to play the guys again?
I mean, we're obviously excited. I mean, make the most of every opportunity. This is the second round of the playoffs. We're just going to enjoy while we can.
All right, Lions, what did you see from them last time that you think you guys can maybe do a little differently this time around?
I mean, just executing. We had a good game plan, and we were in the game. We just failed to execute on some of the plays. So I think we execute right, and we're right in it with them. All
right, we'll get out there and support the Gators, 7:30 on the road in Milledgeville, John Millage and Bulloch Academy.
50 years. That's a lot of memories. And at Lee Hill & Johnston Insurers, we've been Statesboro's insurance people since 1963. Recognized as one of the leading agencies in Georgia, Lee Hill & Johnston is independent and offers a complete line of personal and business insurance for auto, life, home, and health. We'll shop companies to find the lowest premiums and best coverage for you, your family, or your business. Lee Hill & Johnston Insurers, the insurance people since 1963.
And it's time once again for Jen's Pick Six. Jennifer Hirsch joins us. We were both 3-3 last week again. She still has a 2-game lead, and it's brought to you by
Lee Hill & Johnston.
All right, let's get right to it. Our Eagles haven't done well for 2 straight weeks. Jennifer, this week they're at Coastal. They're 6-point favorites. Who do you like?
What is going on? I mean, Chad Lunsford, you had Paulson Stadium going a little bit, You had your team going a little bit. I keep a track on him because a lot of people don't know this, but I keep following him on Twitter, Facebook, you name it, all the social media.
He's on it. He's a good guy.
So, guys, and I kept hearing some people say, Josh, don't pick Georgia Southern this week.
Oh.
But let me tell you this.
You're picking Georgia Southern.
I'm picking Georgia Southern this week.
All right. Next up, I am too. Georgia, 46 points to UMass. Lots of points, Jennifer.
What is this? I mean, 46 points. They have never been minus 46 before, guys. And you know what? I said it one time and I said it again. I'm a Bulldog freak, and I'm going with my Georgia Bulldogs.
I'm taking UMass to cover. I think Georgia's going to kill them, but maybe not by that much. Georgia Tech giving 6 to Virginia.
Okay.
Paul Johnson.
Lately, Paul Johnson's been winning.
Yeah.
Again. So I'm picking this week Georgia Tech.
Me too. Tennessee giving 6 against Missouri. They're getting 6 points.
That is an understatement.
All right.
A very misleading bet. I'm going to pick Tennessee because I think the other team are going down.
Missouri's going down?
Yeah.
I like Missouri in this one, unfortunately. Kentucky lost to Tennessee. They're giving 14 to my alma mater, MTSU. Who you like?
Okay. Well, I mean, I've already made my pick on this, but Kentucky all the way.
All right, I got to stick with my alma mater. Finally, Houston giving 11 to Willie Fritz, former coach, Tulane. Who you like, Jennifer?
Sorry, Willie Fritz. Did not pick Tulane this week, but I'm picking Houston all the way.
All right, I got Tulane. Hopefully, we'll see how we do next week. Jennifer still with a couple games lead. We thank you for joining us. For Jennifer Hirsch, I'm Josh Aubrey. See you next week.